Are the headlines of the hour. Parties claiming to contest upcoming election independently opt for coalition for the by-election. Few parties unable to find the contesting candidate. Development budget expenditure remains under 10%. Government fails to meet the revenue target. Poor regulation and execution of plan. Joe Biden reiterates government's commitment to Ukraine, emphasizes to end the conflict. And Croatia and Denmark reach the quarterfinals of the Nations League. Croatia books its place with already qualified Portugal. Welcome back. Parties that have claimed to contest the upcoming election independently have opted for coalition in the by-election of 1st of December. The ruling Nepali Congress and CPN-UML have also formed an alliance in 2 district coordination committees and 2 local levels where by-election will be held. Meanwhile, Maoists have collaborated with some small parties while some parties struggle to find the candidates. 25 parties were registered with the Election Commission to participate in the by-election. 400 candidates are contesting for 44 vacant seats. In the past 4 months, less than 10% of the planned development funds have been used. Despite lowering interest rates, private sector investments has not increased. The government continues to blame the budget targets set by previous administration. However, it has yet to make real reforms. Prime Minister Oli said that the domestic income is struggling to cover current expenses, citing power cuts to industries and low investor confidence as setbacks for the economy. He also pointed out that the ambitious budget was set before his government took office. Meanwhile, Finance Minister Bishnu Paudel warned that the current approach won't meet the revenue targets, blaming employee neglect in revenue collection.
हामी सुधारको बाटोमा छौं तर के चित्त बुझाउन सक्ने अवस्थामा छौं भन्ने छैन त्यसमा थप मेहनत गर्नुपर्ने छ हामीले जुन 30-31% को राजस्व वृद्धि गर्ने जुन लक्ष्य राखेका छौं त्यसमा पुग्नको लागि यो मेहनतले पुग्दैन थप अतिरिक्त मेहनत गर्नुपर्ने अवस्था देखिन्छ
त्यो संरचना अर्थतन्त्र भित्रका संरचनागत आधारहरुमै परिवर्तन गर्नु पर्यो लगानीको प्याटर्न नै परिवर्तन गर्नु पर्यो र भएको स्रोत कसरी प्रयोग गर्न सकिन्छ एउटा वित्तीय क्षेत्रको रहेको स्रोत पनि र सरकारको उसमा पनि रहेको भए अब निर्माण व्यवसायलाई भुक्तानी समयमा गर्दिनु पर्यो.
Finance Minister Bishnu Paudel had previously instructed the employees to increase revenue with a target of 14.19 trillion rupees for the current fiscal year. However, by the Nepali month of Kartik, only 3.23 trillion rupees was raised with a shortfall in both imports and domestic demands. Customs revenue reached only 1.41 trillion rupees of the 1.89 trillion rupees target, and internal taxes and income and VAT collected just 1.41 trillion of the 1.80 trillion goal. The Maldunga-Beni section under Kali-Gandaki corridor connecting the north-south, a project of national pride, is to be stop operation for 6 hours from today to 26th of November. The Beni Jomsom Corolla project office has stated that the road operation will be discontinued for pitching and upgrading. The information officer of the project, Vishnu Chapagai, had said that the meeting among the people's representative of the construction company and the information officer on Sunday had decided to halt the road operation for 8 hours starting from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The immigration office at Nechung 1 of Kerala, a strategic border point between Nepal and China in the Upper Mustang's Lomanthang, has discontinued its operation a day after it was inaugurated. The office was inaugurated by Home Minister Ramesh Lekhak on 30th of October. The officials deployed in the office had claimed to have discontinued the operation due to lowering temperatures. The office is said to resume from the Nepalese month of Baisakh. A total of 8 employees were deployed in the dry port. The meeting held between Armed Police Force and Indian Border Security Force (SSB) has decided to advise the government to form a combined team to stop illegal trespassing. The Director of the General SSB Amrit Mohan Prasad and his team, who were here to attend the meeting, held a discussion with the Director General of Armed Police Force Raju Aryal and his team regarding the border security. Nepal urged the Indian security forces to help in controlling the easy travel of third countries' citizens in the country. Nepal stated that country's citizens entering from the India are posing a threat and has urged to tighten the security. For that, a combined team has to be formed between Armed Police Forces of Nepal and SSB. Both parties have agreed to advise their respective governments regarding the matter. Both countries agreed to establish a tourist help desk and citizen help desk. The tourists entering Nepal via India's border has to inform where they are heading prior of their entrance, and Nepal Armed Forces have agreed to coordinate with them. SSB has also agreed to coordinate with tourists entering India via Nepal's border. Meanwhile, SSB and APF agreed to train together regarding counter-terrorism and natural disaster, India especially in counter-terrorism and Nepal on fire and water disasters. India's head of Border Security Force expressed deep interest over the smuggling of marijuana and hashish to India. However, the condition is a lot better than before. Similarly, Nepal urged to control the smuggling of pharmaceutical drugs to Nepal from India. The meeting, which was held being every year turn by turn, will be held in the next 6 months. SSB secures the Nepal-Bhutan border and APF secures the other. The meeting is the 8th one held between the chief of 2 border security chiefs. Only 2 complaints have been filed against the candidacy for the upcoming by-election, which is to be held on 1st of December. Election Commission has stated that 2 complaints have been filed on Sani Bheri Rural Municipality 5. Election Commission has urged to file complaints against any candidate between 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. yesterday. Within the time frame, only 2 complaints have been filed in Sani Bheri 5. Complaints are against candidates of Nepali Congress and CPN Maoist Center. Nepali Congress's Motiraj Khatri and CPN Maoist Center's Jasiram Basnet have registered their candidacy from Sani Bheri 5. Nepali Congress's Khatri is accused of being a teacher and CPN Maoist Center's Basnet is accused of being a businessman. 410 candidacy has been registered for 44 vacant positions across 33 districts. Commission has a schedule of publishing a final list of candidates and allocating election symbols to the candidates till 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. on 5th of Mangshir. Commission has also directed the Ministry of Internal Affairs to tighten the security for upcoming by-election. Commission has also urged the conduct by-election in a clean and fear-free environment and the safe transportation of ballot box to the counting place. It has also directed local levels to manage proper infrastructure to conduct the by-election. Commission also published a release to manage required drinking water, electricity, and other necessary arrangements. US President Joe Biden has reiterated the government's commitment to Ukraine. Biden made the pledge publicly for the first time at the G20 summit in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, after the news broke that the US would allow Ukraine to use long-range missiles to strike deep into Russia. Speaking at the G20 summit, he stressed that the need for them to work together to end the conflicts and crises that undermine the progress in global security reform. He said the US firmly supports Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity and that he is confident that all the G20 leaders will support it. According to the AP, speaking at the summit, Biden also urged the world's wealthy leaders to put pressure on Hamas to end the Gaza war. US Ambassador to the United Nations, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, said that US will announce additional security assistance for Ukraine in coming days. Meanwhile, Germany has said that it will not allow Ukraine to use long-range missiles. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has made it clear that they will not change their policy even if US changes. Germany is the country that provides the most arms to Ukraine after the US Defense Minister Boris Pistorius, speaking to an event, said that Germany will provide 4,000 drones that can be controlled by artificial intelligence to Ukraine. The G20 summit began from yesterday in Brazil, where the heads of states of world's 20 richest economies, including the European Union, have gathered. According to the international media, the summit is mainly discussing the global economy, climate change, poverty alleviation, and fight against the hunger. Biden has announced that he will provide $4 billion to the World Bank's International Development Association to help the world's poorest countries. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that Israel's attack on Iran last month degraded its defense and missile production capabilities and also hit an element of its nuclear program. Netanyahu said in a speech in a parliament that there was a specific component in their nuclear program that was hit in the attack. However, Netanyahu added that Iran's path to a nuclear weapon had not been blocked. Netanyahu's Iran remark was made at the Knesset, Israel's parliament, during a session that was called upon in order to discuss 101 hostages still held by Hamas since it led an attack on Israeli border communities on 7th of October 2023. Opposition lawmakers shouted and some were asked to leave the plenum, while hostages' families who were watching the discussion from the gallery were asked to clear it. A 9-day march by Maori and their supporters across New Zealand has culminated in Wellington today at a rally with thousands readying to protest against a bill that opponents seek to dilute the rights of the Maori. The protest is planned to last most of the day, with thousands gathering early in the central city park with flags, music played, creating an festival atmosphere. Some people were dressed in the traditional attire with feathered headgear and cloaks and carried traditional Maori weapons, while others wore T-shirts emblazoned with honor of the treaty. Police are estimating more than 15,000 people marching to Parliament, with 2,000 already at the parliamentary grounds. The bill reinterprets the clauses in the 184-year-old Treaty of Waitangi. First signed in 1840 between the British Crown and more than 500 indigenous Maori chiefs, it lays down how the two parties agreed to govern. The interpretation of clauses in the document still guides the legislation and policy today. That is all for the moment. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.